Welcome, everyone. I see these numbers starting to climb, so we're going to wait a few minutes to make sure everyone gets in, but hang tight and we'll get started in a few. Thank you for being here. I'll give it just another minute just to make sure a few other people get in, but thanks again for being here. We have really good participation, so we're excited to share the workshop on workshops with you. All right. Well, we've hit 201. Wow, it's still climbing, but I do think just for the sake of time, and we have a lot of wonderful presenters to give you information, that we're going to go ahead and get started. I am, again, really excited to see this number of participants and that you all are so interested in this program that we're offering today. Just a quick introduction. My name is Renee Rarico. I'm one of the associate directors of the undergraduate program here at Kelley. My job, I oversee the academic side of the house, so overseeing advising and records and courses and enrollment and making sure that kind of those academic pieces run smoothly for our students. And while I certainly don't know everything about workshops, not even close, I know a little bit about the workshops. I do want to be able to provide an overview of a lot of the questions that we get, especially about some of the courses and how these work before we break it over to our actual directors and students that are going to share their experience about their specific workshop and some of the application and other materials. So a little bit of FAQ on workshops. What are they? So in the undergraduate program, they have an academic and career focus. All of them come with a course or two courses, and in some cases even more, that students have to take, participate in, and pass to be a part of the workshop. These courses will delve into career skills, networking skills, but also very, very specific resources and learning outcomes related to the industry in which the workshop is a part of. So there's coursework, speakers, company visits, networking, a lot of mentoring, especially with some of the upper class students. And we do have a workshops website now. It needs a little bit of updating, but it's not bad. But if you Google Kelley workshops, it'll give you a little bit of information about especially what the course is, what some of the focus is of some of these workshops, and to give you a little sense of where we are beyond just this event. So how many workshops? Trent McGee, our director of student life, shared with me that there was a survey done, I believe in 2019, where asked students, how many workshops does the Kelley School Business offer? And the answer was 4 to 6. No, we're up to 18. So I think that that's a great thing because there's so many more career fields and areas of interest for our student, and great majors and co-majors in different areas of career specific fields that we offer for our students. So this allows us to expand and offer those different workshops in different areas. So they're from 6 different departments, and you're going to hear from each of them tonight. They're all a little different. Some might be for first or second year students who are kind of exploring a certain field and they want to learn a little bit more about it. And others might be, nope, this is for, you're going to go to the job fair for this specific area, maybe the sports industry workshop, for example, and you're going to learn about that as a junior or senior. So they're all a little bit different. This is always our favorite question. How many can I be a part of? 1. That's okay. We want to make sure that even though we have 18 workshops, we have a lot of students. So this allows more students to be able to participate. And it also ensures that students are really fitting into the workshop that fits best with their interests and their skills and their abilities. So we want to make sure that students aren't kind of trying to figure out, oh, I want to make sure I'm a part of a workshop, so I'm going to try this one. Figure out what area you're really interested in and dive into understanding that area as much as possible. That'll make your application strong, and it'll really be based on your interests. Another very frequently asked question, how competitive is admissions to workshops? And everybody's favorite answer is, it depends. Each workshop has individual admissions criteria. Some have hundreds of applicants for 30 spots. Others are brand new and are just trying to develop and want to make sure that they're getting students with the right fit. There might be different areas such as GPA is really important to one, but an essay might be really important to another, or experience might be important. But understanding the fit is really the most important piece, and why that workshop is the right fit for you and your future goals. So this is always a question too, but what if I don't get into a workshop? Oh my gosh, will I get a job? Yes, you'll be okay. I understand that it's hard and that a lot of people really want to be a part of a workshop and think that that's the one path to a one specific career. And that's just simply not the case. As you know, 95% of our students are employed after 3 months after graduation, and less than 7% of our students are in a workshop. So students can still get a job, can still even try to pursue the career fields that the workshops incorporate. So it's really about finding a fit, figuring out if it's there, but then knowing that if it doesn't work, or you decide it's not a fit for you, maybe the timing doesn't work for you, that's all right. You can still work to pursue that and still work with some of the great faculty in the departments that you'll hear tonight to mentor and find out if there's opportunities to still be a part of that career field. All right. I'm not going to read this because you're going to hear from them all. But here's the list of workshops at one snapshot to kind of tell you all 18. I do want to highlight two new areas. So accounting has added on 4 workshops that are brand new. And then also toward the bottom of the first column, the consumer marketing workshop is new. All the rest have been around for at least a year and a lot more than that. So you're going to hear from them now. And I'm going to have, I think, Sonia Rego take it away for the first presentation.
Thank you, Renee. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sonia Rego, and I am the chair of the accounting department. And I'm thrilled to be talking with you this evening about 4 new accounting workshops that will be rolling out over the next year or so. And here on this slide, we can see the 4 different workshops. But in order to be admitted to one of the 4 workshops, there is a prerequisite course. It's going to be numbered A313, and it's called Introduction to Careers in Accounting. And it's launching in spring of 22. And so in this 1.5 credit hour class, students will be exposed to a really broad set of career paths that they can follow if they pursue an accounting major. And at the end of this course, they would then apply for admission to one of these 4 brand new workshops. So again, this intro class is going to start in spring of 22. So if you are a first-year student or a second-year student and you've had A100, please try to enroll in our intro class. Probably one thing I should say right now is that we have a call-out meeting on Thursday, September 9th at 7 p.m. And it's going to be in Hodge Hall 2046. That's Hodge Hall 2046. And we'll talk about the intro class and also the workshops. So the 4 workshops, 3 of them are going to be introduced in fall of 22. And so that's going to include the first one listed on this slide, the Assurance, Controls, and Information Systems. So in this 1.5 credit hour class, students are going to be learning about careers involving assurance services and risk management and control systems. And of course, they're going to be interacting with professionals on a weekly basis. There's going to be a field trip to at least 2 different firms. And we'll also be introduced to analytical tools that you would be using in assurance services. Our second workshop is A316, that's tax advisory services. And that also will be launched in the fall of 22. And it's going to be introducing students to all the different job paths in the tax world. So it's going to include federal taxation, international taxation, state and local, tax jobs that are in public accounting, tax jobs that are at corporations or even in government. So they would learn all about different possible careers in tax. And then that third workshop that's listed right there under bullet point number 2 A317, this is focused on corporate accounting. So what if you wanted to launch your career by going straight to a corporation and work in the accounting area there? So what this workshop is going to do is introduce you to the really broad set of roles that accountants play at corporations, like financial planning and analysis, business risk management, treasury, tax planning, and financial reporting. And so again, all three of these workshops that are listed under bullet point number 2 are launching in fall of 22. And now I'm excited to introduce my colleague, Professor Dave Green, who is the instructor of the introduction class. He'll be teaching it in spring of 22. And he's also going to talk with you about our fourth new and exciting workshop called Financial and Transactional Services. Dave, I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. I'm going to start off with by talking a little bit about public accounting firms, because I think that most students are familiar with them. And I suspect what most of you think is that that what you do in those accounting firms is audit and tax. And those are certainly two of the large service lines that they have. But the largest accounting firms, in fact, those are now dominated instead by advisory and consulting services. So more than 50% of the revenues of the large accounting firms really fall into the advisory and consulting area. And so practices like financial due diligence and forensic and capital markets accounting advisory services and restructuring and valuation now represent a significant portion of what the accounting firms do. But in addition to that, a lot of the other firms, other professional services firms that you're familiar with, many of which are supported by other workshops, like to have students with a strong accounting background. And so there's an opportunity to go into some of these other things, other areas as well. A313 will help you decide which of those paths fit best for you. It will introduce you to more than 30 different careers. It will provide you opportunities to network with professionals in those careers. It will provide you with tools that you can use once you get there. And most importantly, it'll help you map what I sometimes call SWIMs, strengths, weaknesses, interests, and motivators that match up with each of those careers. So you can decide what really is a best fit for you. A319 that Sonia mentioned, which is one of the 4 workshops, and A313 will be offered for the first time next spring. A319, in an official sense, will be offered for the first time in the spring of 2023. But it's a course that I've actually taught for the past 12 or 13 years, and it was sort of referred to as spring training. This is a course for students who've been admitted to the 3-2 MBA program, and it really serves as a transition from your undergraduate experience to a graduate experience. It goes even deeper into all of these careers. From the 3-2 program, 60 or 70% of the students go into transactional work. And so that's an opportunity for you to decide on your career and develop even more relationships. So I hope some of you will be motivated to join us in the breakout room, and that's all I have to say right now.
All right, business analytics consulting workshop, I believe Professor McDermott is here.
Yeah, that's me. It's Eric McDermott. I'm a lecturer in the Business Economics and Public Policy Department. This is actually jointly held with the Operations and Decisions Technology. So Carrie Johnson is one of the professors there. So she and I jointly hold this. So it's I don't know if you've heard of a turducken, which is like different kinds of meat wrapped inside of each other. So we kind of describe this workshop as being like an internship within a class within a workshop. So you, if accepted into the workshop, you'd register for a particular class, half in each department. And what you would end up working on the vast majority of the semester, though, would be a particular project with a firm that we partner with. And this last spring was the first semester that we held this workshop, and we had 4 different projects, all with Fortune 500 firms. And we had about 25 students in the workshop. So we'd probably be around that size. We're a little bit bigger and this coming spring. And yeah, so it's currently, as I mentioned, held during the spring semester. It's primarily for students in business analytics co-major. Not that we, aren't interested in having other students, but it's partly due to the course requirements. If you're not co-majoring in those, it can be a little bit more challenging to get into those courses, which are up next. I think the next slide.
Yeah, sorry, Professor McDermott, having
No
a little bit, my mouse is messing with me, and I will
yeah, no
switch
problem. I
over
can
here.
actually, so I'll just, until we get there, I can.
There we
switch this.
go,
Oh,
there we
Okay.
go.
Perfect,
Apologize,
thank you.
everyone.
All right, so there are 4 courses in the co-major that all students have to take. There was one of them that you have an option. And so we technically require students to have taken or be taking 2 of those by the semester that they're applying, which would be the fall semester prior to the spring workshop. And it's primarily for juniors and seniors. We think it's a great opportunity for juniors. So if there are students kind of on a level playing field, we think it'd be a great opportunity for the juniors, because then it's like they're taking an internship that they could hopefully leverage into something later on. But just to mention these course requirements, because although we mentioned 2 as a minimum, that was particularly last year when we were in a new workshop. The competition will probably be a little bit more. So we really encourage students to try to plan out their course of study if they're interested in taking some of these earlier, because the students who do have taken more and do well in those would get a bit of a priority in terms of applying for the workshop. The other thing that I'll mention is that G492 has a prerequisite of G350. So for students who might be kind of planning ahead, that's another thing to keep in mind. And yeah, and so then I don't have a specific application date, but it will be available later this fall, later this, not this month, but next month. And then we'll be selecting students for interviews in October and announcing within a couple weeks after that. So thanks so much and good luck to all of you.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Kyle Blanc. I am the VP of the Business Operations Consulting Workshop, or what we like to call the BOC Workshop. When you're looking at the BOC Workshop, you're really looking at 2 different things. You're looking at the operations side of things, then the consulting side of things with a little bit of operations backdrop in there. In the first half of the experience, you'll be taking a class with Professor Katie Badolato, and that's really focused on your operations side of things. And then in the second year, you'll be taking a class with Carl Briggs that is more focused on the consulting side of things. And the great thing about these 2 classes and how they're structured is at the beginning of each class, you will learn material more like a lecture, like you're probably used to. But in the second half of the class, they bring in somebody from industry to come in and teach that topic and how they would use it in the real world. This gives you a chance to see that material from a different lens than you normally see it in a class. And it allows you to network and see what those jobs look like with those companies. Outside of class, we hold social events, whether that's virtual game nights or joining Carl, one of our professors, for a barbecue at his house. With BOC, we really try to make it a community where people can really rely on each other during their experience at Kelley, but also after graduation. We're typically a smaller group, and we've only been around for the last 5 years. So we really push to have that tight-knit community. One thing that's special about the BOC workshop is you can apply as a freshman. We're really looking for those sophomores and juniors to really get that supply chain and operations experience before they hit I-Corps. So that's a little bit unique for us. I think that's all that I have, but if you have any questions about the classes or the BOC application, you can either join me and I in the breakout room, or you can email us at those emails. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Max Goldberg. I'm the junior co-president of the CMBW, and I'm going to be interning at Houlihan Lokey in Chicago this summer.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Sai Dulam. I'm the other junior co-president of the CMBW, and I'll be interning at Jeffries this upcoming summer.
So this is just a brief snapshot of our amazing CMBW leadership team. It's really important for us to have students take the initiative and really lead the process from, working with recruiting new members to developing current members and networking with alumni. So, we have two fantastic directors, Professor Masson and Ren, and I think they do a fantastic job of providing an academic perspective to capital markets and commercial banking. And while Professor Ren really gives, unique insights as someone who worked on Wall Street for most of his career, really has helped us develop that relationship with alumni. Go to the next slide. Yeah, so I think, it's crazy being on this phone call, talking with you all today. I vividly remember being in your position not so long ago. And I think the question everyone should be thinking in their head is, what will a workshop do for you, right? So what will the CMBW do for you? Well, what we do in the CMBW is provide you with a curriculum, mentorship, student advisors, basically the whole A to Z, from learning what capital markets are, learning the various aspects and certain services that investment banks and capital markets divisions provide, and really going through the whole process from identifying and seeing the opportunities that makes the most sense for you, all the way to finally placing you and recruiting at firms. So I think if you're really looking for a community of students who like to have fun, like to nerd out about banking, and really want to push each other to get to the next level of professionalism, I think there's really no better opportunity than the Capital Markets and Banking Workshop.
And just going off of what Max said, the beauty of the CMBW is the optionality, especially with your career, and the volume of opportunities available to our students. So we go the traditional investment banking route with debt capital markets, equity capital markets, leverage finance, to the commercial and corporate side with public finance, corporate lending, and even potential buy-side opportunities working with hedge funds and venture capital. So pretty much the entire banking sphere is an opportunity for our members in the workshop. And just for some brief placement, so far we placed at over 30 different investment banks, varying in a wide variety of sizes. So traditional bulges such as Bank of America and Citi, and at Goldman Sachs, middle markets such as Houlihan and Jeffries and Wells Fargo, and even boutiques such as Guggenheim and Lazard as well. So a wide variety of banks as well.
Yeah, and just to sum up, I think if anyone's interested, definitely go check out the CMBW website. We're working on some updates now as well, and reach out. Don't be a stranger. Email me, myself, or Sai, or anyone else on the leadership team, and I think they definitely vouch for what we're doing here and what really makes us competitive in terms of culture as well as placement. So appreciate all your time.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name's Brendan Traverso. I'm a senior. I'm the president of the Charles Schwab Wealth Management Workshop. I interned at JP Morgan this summer, and I'll be going back to work there full time. So the gist of what the workshop is it's a program preparing students for careers in wealth management. What that consists of is interview preparation, we have a mentorship program, case competitions, visits with firms, preparation on technicals, and one of the largest components of the workshop is preparation for the CFP exam. This certification is really valuable in wealth management, and we are, I think, the only workshop that offers education to help you get a certificate once you graduate, which I think is hugely helpful. Moving on there, some of our employment outcomes we have listed here. We generally place students into careers in asset and wealth management. You see some of the firms there. So our alumni have gone to places like private banks, which are the large wealth management arms of bulge bracket investment banks, RIAs, which are independent advisors at family offices, and broker dealers. So we've placed students at all those firms, and I think they've had some really successful outcomes there. And here's our education component. So in order to sit for the CFP exam, you have to take a certain number of classes. Most of those fit in with the finance major, but we do have a few that are going to be tacked on as additional credit hours, including our capstone course. But yeah, I think they're super helpful classes, and we hope to see some of you in the breakout room after.
Wonderful. Hey, everyone. So just to start it off, my name is Ryan Klein. I'm a vice president of the Commercial Real Estate Workshop this semester, alongside Solomon Wistrike and Cale Phillips. And so kind of going forward, what is the Commercial Real Estate Workshop? And our faculty advisors, Professors Doug McCoy, Cockerham, and Ellen Stauffer as well. So the workshop is a first 8 weeks, both the fall and spring semesters. And so 16 weeks total there. What do we do? What do we go through? It's a case-based format. So on Thursday of each week, you'll be given a case by a firm, whether that be from Chicago or from Indiana, and you'll be given the full weekend to prepare for the case. And then on Thursday, you'll present the case in front of the rest of the workshop members and the faculty advisors and the firms that came to give you the case in the first place. So there's plenty of great experience building technical skills for commercial real estate positions, but also there's plenty of good time to network with the professionals after class as well. And kind of on that zone with networking. So before the school year begins every year, one thing that's I think pretty special with the Commercial Real Estate Workshop is we take a Chicago firm visit every year. And so we get to visit 10 to 15 of the top commercial real estate firms in the Chicago area. So we get to visit a bunch of cool firms, and it's a great networking opportunity, and I think a real key part of what the workshop provides. And so going forward, applications are going to open up later in the spring, tentative dates being March 4th, April 2nd. And so we'll be pre-screening you guys based on resume, transcript, and essay questions. And then if you advance beyond that, 2 30-minute interviews. And so what makes the ideal candidate? So sophomores and juniors. We like to see proven dedication to the real estate program. So what does that mean? So one key thing we like to look for is networking with both past and current commercial real estate workshop members. So to highlight that again, networking is huge. 3.5 or up GPA is preferred, prior work or experience in real estate, of course, and then experience in the case, the real estate club and case competition. And so want to keep this short. So kind of just to wrap it up, one of the big things or one of the other perks of being in the real estate workshop is that after Tuesdays, when you're presenting your case to firms, we actually get to go to Nick's as a workshop together and get free food and free drinks as a workshop with our professors, the firms that visit, and with the other workshop members. And so this is free, of course. I'll highlight that again, free food and free drinks. So if networking and technical skills aren't enough, that's always a plus as well. So that's all I've got for you guys today. So feel free to reach out, and thank you all so much.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming today. So today, Hamat and I are going to talk about the consulting workshop. So what is the consulting workshop? Before this, what is consulting? Consulting is essentially working in a team to solve businesses' problems. I know that's really vague, but specifically the consulting workshops works to prepare you for careers in management and strategy consulting. And they do this through 3 classes, one being just learning about the consulting industry your junior year. And then one, it essentially is a course, but it's basically a firm visit or 15 firm visits in Chicago where you visit some of the firms that IU recruits for. And then lastly, you take a course senior year where you learn how to structure your thinking and work through cases. Some of the firms we have gone to this past year are at the bottom, but besides just preparing you for the consulting career as a whole, you get a great peer group and a great support system going through the recruitment process.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of the application process, sophomores in their second semester, early around January, February, would apply to the consulting workshop, and that application consists of a resume, transcript, as well as an essay. And as candidates proceed through the process, you would interview with some current members of the workshop, as well as our faculty advisors, Professor Rubin and Muge. And the kind of point I really want to focus on here is if you are somebody who really enjoys working in teams and collaborating with others, and working to solve business problems and problem solve, that those are really valuable traits for us and things that we value in an applicant, because once you're in the workshop, we're really going to be developing those skills and building on those. And even if you're somebody who really knows that you want to go into consulting from day one, or is still trying to learn more about consulting and see if that's right for you, the consulting workshop is a great way for all of our members to be able to hone that understanding and really learn about consulting and understand if that's something that they want to pursue going forward. So thank you all for listening, and I'll pass it over to the next workshop.
Okay, hi everybody. I am Professor Niedermeyer. I'm from the marketing department, and I'm the director of a brand new workshop, which is the Consumer Marketing Workshop. And I just want to go over a few highlights. Well, one, as I said, this is a brand new workshop, and the marketing department you'll be hearing about has both a successful sales and a retail workshop. And this workshop is, as you see, the mission here is to kind of fit in between those two functions in marketing and to focus on creating opportunities and preparing students for careers in all these other areas of marketing that revolve around consumers, including brand management, marketing communications, and consumer insights, marketing research, things like that. And the content of the program will consist of an overview of these industries, really taking a deep dive and understanding what these verticals are, what companies do in these verticals, what jobs exist in them, and then really getting an overview of some key consumer marketing concepts. And we will be partnering with a lot of companies to bring in speakers, to create panels, and having network opportunities with these companies. And you see some of the companies, this is brand new. I'm working on this a lot this semester to build our partnerships, but we've already got some of the logos you see on the bottom on board. So Scott's, which you know them, they're a big partner with garden supplies. And they also are on board with us, and also with Bloomington Brands, which Scott's has one of their brands managed by Bloomington Brands. It's like a whole nother story here, but Bloomington Brands is one of our partners, and they give over a real brand with $1 million budget to be managed, and it's managed mostly by MBAs, but they hire paid undergrad internships. And part of this program is meant to create a feeder into those internships and full-time opportunities. So we'll be also doing some internship and full-time recruiting training for jobs in these areas, and then hopefully doing some corporate site visits as well. And as I said, in addition to Scott's and Bloomington Brands, we already have commitments from Google and Morning Consult, which is a really cool consumer insights company, to come in and provide programming and do some live cases with us. And on this slide, we just see some details here. This will take place for the first time in spring of this year, and it will be a 3 credit hour course. We'll be meeting on Thursday nights, also trying to line up 2 full day visits if that's allowed. And in terms of applications, you can email me, but we're going to have applications, which will be very simple, just kind of your resume and answering a few questions due by September 17th. And then I will contact you for just a casual interview discussion with me. And I'll be in the breakout Zoom room, which you'll get the link for at the end also after this session. So thanks.
Trent, did we see anyone from digital logistics earlier?
They might be having technical difficulties. They are not here, it doesn't look like.
Okay. So here it is.
Yeah, so here's some information about it. Professor Hill and Professor Clark both lead this workshop. They are doing interviews in spring 2022. And so if you take a picture of that link, you could write that later, obviously, are not able to click that link through your Zoom room. But it's a relatively new workshop, and it works with some amazing brands, as you can see out on the right side. The last thing I want to talk about is they do have a case competition this fall, so keep an eye out for that. It looks like it's going to be on November 5th. They'll do plenty of marketing through the Kelley Insider, and they'll release that in October for you to sign up. And obviously, we all love to see those money signs for scholarships, so make sure that you're checking that out. So I will get off camera quickly because we have another great workshop to talk global sales.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Julie Berg and I am the VP of Talent for the Global Sales Workshop. To provide kind of a brief overview, a high-level overview of what this workshop is, the GSW provides a great opportunity to network with a lot of business professionals and to really explore what a career in sales would be like. So a question you all should be asking is, why should you join this Global Sales Workshop? I think an important fact to not look over is that we have 100% job and internship rate placement, which is something that we're very proud of. With that being said, we have over 20 corporate partners, including companies like P&G, Boston Scientific, and 3M. So the diversity of those corporate partners provides great opportunities for any different industry you want to go into for a future career in sales. Also, we have about 2 to 3 case competitions a semester. And these are really cool because these cases are written by our corporate partners where they actually act as our buyer. So it's great exposure to these companies, and you also get some real-time feedback to improve your selling skills and also kind of thinking on the fly like that. Also, we have about 60 members in the Global Sales Workshop. We take about 15 each semester, and this is a great network of students. Everyone's super social. As salespeople, they love to talk and interact, and they're great to bounce off ideas and past experiences and get some advice. And then on the next slide, this is just a slide to promote our info night. It'll be on September 13th over in the graduate building at 7 p.m. Great opportunity to learn more about our workshop, meet all of the executive team, meet more of our general members, and learn about what the application process looks like. It consists of 1 written application and then 2 follow-up interviews just so we can get to know you better as a person. And we'll also have a case competition for that. That QR code at the top will take you right to our website where our application is live. So I hope to see some of you guys at our info night on the 13th and also ask any questions in the breakout room after.
Hey everyone, my name's Daniel Augustine. Emily might also be on, but I'm one of the junior co-presidents of the investment banking workshop. If we go to the next slide, we can see, so the mission statement's pretty important. I think it's able to give a broad overview of kind of what the workshop stands for. So, I mean, obviously you can read it, but we strive to create a platform for high potential students to unite and launch accelerated careers. These careers are normally into the field of investment banking, as shown by our name. And it's important to also talk about, I guess, what the IBW means to the student, which will be on the next slide, which is, it's more so a professional organization rather than a class. You obviously have to take a class along with the application process, but the workshop should stand as a primary priority in your life, as one of our goals is, or I guess the main goal of the workshop is to help students place into investment banking field. So the workshop meets when banks and alumni can meet. We have to be very flexible with our schedules because obviously banks and alumni and bankers don't have a lot of time in their deep with us. So the second part here is that we're kind of an ambassador for, or you're an ambassador for Kelley, the workshop, and each other within the workshop. So any absence along the process,
All right, Daniel, we're having you. You're breaking up there. So
I can jump in and take it from here.
Emily, take it away.
Can you hear me?
Would love, yes, take it away, Emily.
So just to go off of what he was saying, you know, obviously we're an ambassador for Kelley and the IBW. Basically,
Emily, Go ahead. We can still hear you.
Hello.
Yep, go ahead.
I think I just got kicked off for a second. I think I'm
Oh,
back.
Daniel, you're back.
Hello.
Ambassador is where we were at.
My apologies. I think I just got booted for a second, but we're back now. So yeah, so obviously pride of membership is wildly important in character development within the workshop. We want all of our students to enjoy themselves while also developing themselves as a professional. The last thing which is important is as I touched on is, career advancement post-graduation to find success. We want students that go through the workshop and entering into the workforce to be as successful as possible. It develops a great network of people, and we have a lot of alumni within the field that are able to help. And that kind of leads into my last point, is that the workshop didn't always place into banks, which we'll see on the next slide, that have such high name recognition, but we've worked really hard to develop a great curriculum and great kind of mentors to help guide people. So, obviously, as everyone said, we have a Zoom breakout room after this, and we'd love for anyone to hop on and ask as many questions as possible. But looking forward to it. Thank you.
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Sporty. I'm the co-president of the Investment Management Workshop, and my other two co-presidents will be joining me in the breakout room after this, but really excited to be able to be here talking about the IMW today. So why join the workshop, and what is investment management to begin with? So investment management has three main tracks that we cover: private wealth management, sales and trading, and equity research. And these three tracks I'll go into a little bit more detail in the next slide, but here's just a few highlights of the workshop and why you should be joining. So there is an 8-week class that's focused on improving the theoretical and technical knowledge. So we have a class component, as well as the technical sessions, as well as mentorship, networking, and other opportunities that we offer, similar to other workshops that were discussed today. There's also a lot of financial modeling and valuation help that we'll be doing with you guys. Again, seniors and juniors are conducting mock interviews, so helping you with the placement process, regardless of which track that you're on. And something we really wanted to highlight was the incredibly high placement rates. We had 98% for the class of 2022, which was the first class to actually recruit during the pandemic. And this placement rate comes from a lot of the top banks on Wall Street, including Citigroup, Barclays, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, as well as Goldman Sachs. We also feature some bi-weekly market debates and stock pitch competitions each semester. If you guys have ever been on the second floor of Hodge Hall, the glass room, known as the trading room, which is actually the room that I'm sitting in right now, is for investment management workshop members only. And it features a community and a place where you can come in, have debates about economic topics, about equities, about different news items, and just be surrounded by people who are passionate about the same market topics that you're passionate about. We also have professional panels and social events as well. We have regular firm visits where companies will come and talk about their programs, regardless, again, of which track you're part of. You get access to these professionals, as well as networking with other analysts, MDs, VPs, etc., at some of these top banks. We also are featuring a new event called the Alumni Super Day, where we are bringing in alumni, flying them in actually from New York, Chicago, etc., to come and talk to our students, to have one-on-one conversations with them, and give people an experience that they won't really get unless you're going to a school on the East Coast or in Chicago. So having all of these IU alumni who are just dedicated to making sure that Indiana University students are placing on Wall Street, and specifically IMW students are placing on Wall Street. It's a really unique experience, and we're really excited to be able to present that for you guys this year. And then finally, the networking trips to New York and Chicago. It was canceled the past 2 years due to COVID, but we're really excited again to have it be back this spring semester. We go to some of the top firms, we get tour visits, we get to see the trading floors, meet some of the senior leaders in the company, and just be able to have some face time with the people who are going to be hiring you in the future. So like I mentioned, we have 3 different tracks in the IMW: PWM, or Private Wealth Management, Sales and Trading, and Equity Research. More than happy to go into a little bit more detail during the breakout sessions, but just as a quick overview, Private Wealth Management is helping out individuals who have extremely high levels of wealth, so like $10 billion, $15 billion. They want to invest into the markets. They go to people who are in Private Wealth Management to help them with their asset allocation process. Sales and trading is more about the selling and trading of different financial instruments. And these financial instruments can surround equities or stocks. It can surround corporate debt. It can be around commodities such as oil or gold, as well as currencies, interest rates, etc. So it's a lot of macroeconomics. If you enjoy reading about the markets, you enjoy understanding geopolitics, this is definitely the track for you. And then finally, we have equity research, which is more about picking a stock, trying to understand its fundamentals, understand the business model, identify some key growth catalysts, as well as risks, and decide whether or not you should invest in them. And creating, a lot of this involves like creating a pitch book, having some modeling as well, doing a DCF, LBOs, some comps analysis as well for equity research. So that's a really quick overview of the different tracks. So if you're interested in applying to the workshop, we have a QR code that I've attached over here. Please do feel free to take a picture of it. It'll take you to the email list to receive more information about our call out meeting. I've also listed my email contact here as well. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. More than happy to speak with you guys, and you'll be meeting the other two co-presidents during the breakout room after this. But thank you so much. Really excited to get to know all of you, and hope that you definitely end up at least coming to the call out meeting and applying to the workshop. I will pass it on to the next workshop.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olivia, and I'm a member of the retail workshop. So retail is obviously a huge industry and also a really fun one to work in. And the retail workshop gives you a really good introduction to different career paths in corporate retail, and also provides a ton of opportunities to interact with well over 20 different retailers in a variety of ways. So the class is just one three credit class that meets once a week in the fall. It's taught by John Talbot, and if you've ever had him in class, you'd know that he's awesome and also has a ton of knowledge and experience in retail. It's a really fun class because each week a different retailer comes and we get to learn about their company and also their job opportunities. And then we spend the rest of the class working in teams on a case study that they bring to us. So it hasn't happened in the last 2 years because of COVID, but in the past, the workshop has gone to New York to visit some of the retailers that come to our class at their offices. And we're hoping to bring that back next year if that's possible. So the workshop is for sophomores and juniors with any Kelley major. Our applications will open in the spring for the workshop next fall. So if you're a freshman or a sophomore now and you think you might be interested in applying, you can scan the QR code, and it's just a quick Google form. So we can send you the application when it opens later on. We're gonna have a breakout room after this with a couple other workshop members too. So if you have any questions, feel free to come to that, or also feel free to email any of us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ayush George, and I'm representing the Kelley Sports Industry Workshop, headed by Professor Nathaniel Groh. The program is for 1 year, with students taking a 1.5 credit course once a week for both semesters. The purpose of the program is to introduce students to the latest issues and trends in the US sports industry through frequent guest speakers, hands-on projects, and site visits. The ultimate goal is to give students here at Kelley the opportunity to be exposed to sports business, and is a prime opportunity for prospective workshop members to kind of get their foot in their door via personalized networking and experiential learning, which is super, super important if you're trying to work within the sport industry. The workshop focuses, like I mentioned before, on frequent guest speakers, site visits, and those hands-on projects. So for example, we have Adam Metzendorf, who is the Senior Vice President of Sales for the Phoenix Suns, speaking to the class this week about his role in ticket sales and kind of what he does. We also have many more guest speakers planned throughout the semester and next semester too, from sport organizations like Rock Nation, Fox Sports, NCAA, etc. So members will also be provided the opportunity to work on real hands-on projects with different sport organizations. So last year we worked with on a corporate sponsorship project with the World Dodgeball Federation. We also did a ticket sales project with the Phoenix Mercury of the WNBA, and also a stadium fan engagement project with E15 Consulting. In terms of site visits, the class this year will be visiting Churchill Downs and Indiana Sports Corps, along with a few other inside visits that are in the works currently. Other events include exclusive networking events with IU alumni who are currently working within the sport industry. So the program will provide members with a lot of networking opportunities and enable students to effectively use that network to secure a role within the sport industry. So in terms of the application process, applications open up in January of either your sophomore year or junior year, depending on when you're going to do the program. So either as a junior or a senior. The application consists of a brief essay on why you want to join the workshop, resume submission, and then another brief essay on a current sport industry trend or topic. If an applicant has moved past the first round, then it's followed by an interview, and then hopefully after that by an acceptance. So if you have any other questions, fellow workshop members or myself would be happy to answer them in the breakout room. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for staying on and still having some attention left. My name is Joshua Dennis, and I am one of the two co-directors of the Technology Consulting Workshop. The Technology Consulting Workshop has been at Kelley. We've graduated 7 classes, so we started about 9 years ago, and we now have over 200 alumni who have started to progress very nicely throughout their careers. So I thought I'd start off with what the TCW provides students in terms of results. We work very closely with the Big Four. We offer an exclusive mini career fair just for the workshop that typically has 30 plus employers that are here looking specifically for TCW members. So if you're interested in technology consulting, we have outstanding opportunities for networking. We do a lot to prepare you for interviews. We do a lot to prepare you for the industry. Some recent statistics, our placement from this past spring, of 40 students, we had 9 go to EY Consulting, 8 PwC, 4 at Deloitte, 9 went into other consulting roles. And then we have a number of students that go into software firms or into industry, into technology consulting roles within large organizations. What does it take to get into the TCW? Let's move on. We look for sophomores. So it's a 2-year program. You have to take 1 course in the fall of your junior year. It's a 1.5-hour course, so an 8-week course, and then another course in the fall of your senior year. So sophomores apply in the spring. We also work very closely with the TCART program, which is not a workshop, but kind of a unique program that's put on as a joint venture between Deloitte and EY, and that's the Technology Consulting Awareness Readiness Program. It rolls off the tongue, right? We typically accept 30 to 40 members. Historically, we have for those 30 to 40 spots, somewhere between 150 and 200 applications. A competitive GPA would be 3.7 or higher. And most importantly, you have to want to work in this field, right? So we're looking for candidates that demonstrate a strong interest in working in technology, more specifically technology consulting. So you're not required to be an IS major. It certainly helps, but you should probably be able to demonstrate that interest through some form of a digital technology management co-major or business analytics or something similar. And we'll be advertising in the spring. Keep an eye on Handshake, and we'll post that when we're ready to start accepting our next class. So if you have any questions, you could certainly head out to the TCW webpage. Just Google that, and you could get in touch with myself or the other co-director, Professor Michael Frutiger, and we'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right. Thanks to all of our workshops. That was a doozy, right? There's so many. We appreciate it. So now we're going to move on to where you can go to the breakout rooms. Let me give you some advice as you're doing the QR code is the breakout rooms might be overwhelmed. Move around, explore as many as you can think of. We're going to drop a number of links. They all kind of go to the same page, but they might go to where you're not going to be overwhelming Google Docs. But go to those links, check them out. If you go into the room, it's super busy. Make sure that you maybe go and try to explore another one, ask questions, just wait patiently. They're going to be open for like 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how long or how active the room is. So if you're going around, this recording will be saved so you can overview this because a lot of the workshops did put contact information that you can follow up. So if you miss anybody, that is okay. So hopefully our workshop leaders are headed to their breakout rooms and getting that started. If there isn't a room that you wanted to talk to, make sure that you're following up with them and go to their websites. Keep an eye out for their call out meetings because not all of them are either actively recruiting right now or doing a lot of those breakout room sessions tonight because obviously everyone's pretty busy. But take advantage of the ones that are there. Go ask about the new ones. You're not going to find upperclassmen that can tell you about some of the new workshops. So it's important that you go talk to those faculty members. So hopefully Chloe's going to keep dropping links just in case anyone's showing in here into the chat. But bail out of here, get out of here. You don't have to come back here and we will get done. So I'm going to stop recording.